Hey everyone, welcome back to the Arctic Fox Show. Today, we're venturing into one of the most infamous and terrifying locations in paranormal history, the Sallie House. This small, unassuming home in Kansas has become the center of countless horror stories, stories that will make you question what's real and what lurks beyond. Are you ready? Let's dive into the chilling mysteries of the Sallie House. Our story begins in Atchison, Kansas, a seemingly quiet town with a dark secret. Built in the late 1800s, the Sallie House looks like any other home from the outside. But what happens inside its walls has terrified families and investigators alike. The house's sinister reputation first gained national attention in the early 1990s, when a young couple, Tony and Deborah Pickman, moved into the house on a peaceful street. Little did they know they were about to experience a nightmare they would never forget. It started out small. Lights would flicker on and off, the air would grow unnervingly cold in certain rooms, and objects would disappear only to reappear in strange places. At first, Tony and Deborah brushed it off as odd but explainable. That is, until things took a violent turn. Tony Pickman began waking up with deep scratches on his body, red, painful marks that appeared while he slept. He'd feel sharp pains out of nowhere, as if he was being attacked by an unseen force. Soon after, they started hearing disembodied voices echoing through the house and the sound of footsteps pacing in empty rooms. But these weren't just ghostly whispers. Something in the house wanted them to know it was there, and it wasn't friendly. And then there was Sallie. According to local legends, Sallie was a little girl who had died in the house long ago during a botched surgery, performed without anesthesia. Some say her spirit never left, trapped in the house where she suffered her final moments. The Pickmans reported seeing the ghostly figure of a young girl, and soon she became the focus of their terror. At first, Sallie's presence seemed playful, like a mischievous child, but her behavior quickly grew darker. Sallie's playful pranks turned into violent attacks. Tony, in particular, was targeted by this unseen force. He reported being shoved, scratched, and even burned by something he couldn't see. The temperature would plummet to freezing in seconds, and the feeling of dread became unbearable. Deborah, too, felt the presence closing in on them, the overwhelming sensation that something evil was lurking in their home. Desperate for answers, the Pickmans invited paranormal investigators into the house. They weren't prepared for what they'd find. Teams from across the country documented eerie phenomena, doors slamming shut, items flying off shelves, and lights flickering in patterns too precise to be random. Some even reported seeing Sallie's spirit themselves, a girl with piercing, hollow eyes. One of the most famous investigations came from the Ghost Adventures team, who captured chilling evidence, including EVP recordings, electronic voice phenomena, where a voice, faint but unmistakable, seemed to respond to their questions. But the question remained, was this really the spirit of a little girl, or something far more dangerous? Some believe Sallie isn't a little girl at all, but a demonic entity, using the image of an innocent child to gain trust before attacking. The activity inside the house became so intense that the Pickmans were forced to move out, unable to withstand the relentless hauntings. But the house didn't stay quiet for long. It quickly became a hotspot for paranormal investigators and thrill-seekers, each hoping to catch a glimpse of the entity that terrorized the Pickmans. Some have reported terrifying experiences, feeling cold hands touch their skin, hearing laughter in the empty hallways, or seeing shadowy figures dart past their vision. But with all the claims, there are still skeptics. Many wonder if the scratches, the voices, the apparitions could be the result of fear-induced hallucinations or perhaps even elaborate hoaxes. Psychologists suggest that the mind can play tricks when it's under stress. And in a house with such a dark reputation, it's easy to see why people might jump to paranormal conclusions. But those who've lived through the horror tell a different story. To this day, no one can say for certain what haunts the Sally house. Is it truly the restless spirit of a child, or something far darker lurking in the shadows, feeding on fear? The house's chilling reputation continues to grow, drawing in the brave and the curious, or perhaps the foolish. But one thing is clear: once you've entered the Sally house, you may never leave the same. So what do you believe? Is the Sally house haunted by an innocent spirit, or is there something more sinister lurking in the darkness? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're still brave enough for more stories from the edge of the unknown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and stay spooky.